Welcome back, my students of class 7. Today also we would be continuing with the supplementary text reader, and the story that we started was How the Camel Got His Hump, the first chapter in your book. Okay, so let us recapitulate a little bit, and you open your book, page number 4. Today we would be proceeding with the second section of the story. Let us recapitulate the first section of How the Camel Got His Hump. Okay, the first section dealt with a time when everything was starting new for a man. People were just beginning to employ the animals for their own domestic labors. For their manual labor, they were employing the animals. So the man was making the dog, the horse, and the ox work. Okay, these three animals used to work for the man. But there was one animal which refused to work, and that was the camel. Okay, the camel refused to work. The camel lived in the desert and it survived on only thorny bushes. It didn't talk with anybody, didn't socialize with anybody. Okay, so the three other animals were really frustrated with the way the camel was behaving with them and how he refused to work for the man. So what did they do? They approached a jinn. Okay, and approached a jinn who came, who was like the ruler of the entire desert territory. And the jinn told them, assured them rather, that he will deal with the camel in his own way. In his own manner, he will deal with the camel and he will try to persuade him to join forces with the three other animals and work with them. Okay, so this was what we did in the first section of the story. And there's a comprehension check just after that. The comprehension check we can discuss together later. Let us proceed to the second section of the story. Okay. So in this section, we are going to find out how the jinn will deal with the camel, how he will persuade the camel or treat him, how he will convince him to work for the man. Okay, so let us begin the second section. The first three key points which are given, they are actually just to tell you what this section is about. So we will skip that and we will just begin with the text of the story. The jinn rolled himself up in his dust cloak. Okay, what is a cloak? A cloak is a loose kind of overcoat kind of dress, okay, which people wear as an overall. So here dust cloak actually means that there was as if the whole dust from where the jinn came up, it looked as if it was a cloak made of dust. Okay, if you remember the cartoons of jinn, have you seen Aladdin? If you have seen Aladdin, you can identify what a jinn is. There was a jinn in Aladdin, right? He was one of the central characters of Aladdin, and he would appear like that sometimes. So this jinn also came up in a cloud of smoke, in a cloud of dust in front of the camel. And what did he do? He rolled himself up in his dust cloak. He came up and took a walk across the desert, and then he started walking. Okay, as he was a jinn, as he was a magical creature, he could just appear out of nowhere. He could just come and go as he pleased. So he just came, he appeared in the desert and he started walking across the desert and found the camel looking at his own reflection in a pool of water. So this camel was observing his own face, probably in a pool of water. He was just looking at his own reflection. My friend, which again tells you that character of the camel, that is looking at his own reflection, which again tells you that he is a self-centered animal. Okay, he does not care for other people, or he doesn't feel like socializing with anybody. He just looks at himself and his own reflection. So the jinn appears in front of him and says, "My friend," said the jinn, "what's this I hear of your doing no work? Okay, what's this I hear that you're not doing any work at all?" The jinn sat down with his chin in his hand, that means like this. Okay, he sat down beside the camel and he was just putting his chin in his hand, okay, in his mouth. chin in his hand while the camel looked at his own reflection in the pool of water. The camel continued looking at his own reflection. He didn't really give anybody any kind of attention. He was just absorbed in himself. So, the camel was still looking at his own reflection when the jinn sat beside him and asked him what he was hearing about the camel of not doing any work. You have given the tree extra work ever since Monday morning, all on account of your idleness. So just because you are idle, you are lazy, you refuse to work, because of that, the tree, that means the three animals, remember, the horse, the dog and the ox. The three animals has to work extra time. The three animals have to work more just because of you and your idleness. And he went on thinking with his chin in his hand. He went on thinking. Hump, said the camel. Okay, hump, said the camel. That means he didn't even give him a proper reply. He just made that sound once again. I shouldn't say that again if I were you. Now the jinn is a bit irritated and angry as well, because after all he was the jinn and he deserved some respect, right? But the camel didn't give him any, and he gave him the same answer that he gave everybody else. That is, and so the jinn becomes a bit angry or irritated and said, I shouldn't say it again if I were you. That is, I shouldn't repeat hump again if I were you. You might say it once too often. I want you to work. That is, you are saying the same word over and over again. You are telling this reply to everybody who is meeting you, but I don't want you to do that. You have to work. And the camel said hump again. But no sooner had he said it than he saw his back that he was so proud of. His back was so smooth and straight, and he was proud of his back, puffing up into a great big hump. So the camel grew a hump just because he said the sound, or he uttered the word hump. The jinn cursed him with a hump on his back. Do you see that? Said the jinn. That's your very own hump that you have brought upon your very own self by not working. Today is Thursday and you have done no work since Monday when the work began. So from Monday when the work for man began, that means all the animals started working for man, from that day you have not done any work. So today is Thursday. For 3 days you have not done any work. You will be able to work now for 3 days without eating, because you can live on your hump. And don't you ever say I never did anything for you. Come out of the desert and go to the tree and behave. So the jinn is it's a very short-tempered jinn, right? He made a decision very fast. He gave the camel something to carry on his back. It was a hump. It was a hump. That is the title of the story. So we understood how the camel got his hump. We understood the main point, main climax of this story. That is, the jinn gave him the hump when the camel repeatedly replied to his queries with the sound hump. Okay, so that is how the camel got the hump. And then the jinn clarifies that you have got this hump because you have not been working and you have not been replying to us properly. Today is Thursday, so for 3 days you have not worked. Because of the hump, you don't have to eat anything for 3 days. You can survive on that hump. Because as I told you, and it is believed also, that the hump contains body fat for the camel. So it's easier for them to go on days without eating something. Okay, that means it is some extra storage of food is there for the body because of the very rough conditions in which these animals live in desert, where there is very less water, very less availability of proper food, so they can survive on the hump for some time. Okay, so the jinn just told him that because of the hump you don't have to eat also, you can just work continuously for man for 3 days, and that's how you will make up for your labor, for the labor which you have not done. And now you have to go back to the place where the three are there. You see the three, this word is capitalized because it refers to the three animals. Okay, horse, dog and ox. So the three refers to the three animals which are already employed by man to do some work. So you have to go to them and you have to start to work. And the camel, okay, now you are going to work. Do you see that? You have, okay, I think I just skipped a little bit. Now I'm just repeating that part again. That's your very own hump, and because you have not worked for 3 days, you don't have to eat for 3 days. Today is Thursday and you have done no work since Monday when the work began. Now you are going to work. So when he says that, the camel replies. For the first time we hear the camel talking to somebody. So he says, "How can I?" said the camel. "With this hump on my back? I have a hump on my back. How can I work?" "That has a purpose," said the jinn. Well, that hump is actually a good thing. That hump has a purpose for you. What is the purpose? Underline this part. All because you missed those 3 days, you will be able to work now for 3 days without eating, because you can live on your hump. You can underline this line. You will be able to work for 3 days with this hump without eating, because you can live on your hump. And don't you ever say, "I never did anything for you." Come out of the desert and go to the tree and behave. Now see, because of the hump you will be able to work as well as go without eating for 3 days. You can survive on the hump. So don't tell me that I didn't do anything good for you. So the jinn is trying to get some credit for what he did. And the camel went away to join the tree, and from that day to this, the camel always wear a hump. We call it hump now, not to hurt his feeling. Okay, that means we don't say humph, but we say hump, just so that his feelings are not hurt. But he has never yet caught up with the 3 days that he missed at the beginning of the world, and he has never yet learned how to behave. But still now the character of the camel is just the same as it was in the beginning. Okay, so still now he has not been able to do some extra work so that he can catch up with the other animals. Okay, so here is a very humorous and completely fabricated tale about how the camel got his hump. Okay, so next day we can proceed with the comprehension check question answers, and they are very easy, they are very amusing, because this story is very simple. There is nothing complicated about it. It is a fable and it is given for the purpose of your enjoyment, right? And a different kind of thinking as well. It's taken from the classic work by Rudyard Kipling. It has been adapted a little bit. It's not the exact words that you're getting here. Anyway, so it was quite nice to do this chapter. We will just proceed with the question answers in our next session. Thank you.